China has begun its annual National People's Congress meeting. The NPC is a part of the quote-unquote 2 sessions and is an important window into Beijing's policies. The meeting this year is crucial as it will formalize President Xi Jinping's third term in the top office. China's outgoing premier announced Beijing's growth target for 2023, set at a modest 5%. It is the lowest target in decades, as China aims to revive its post-pandemic economy.
The economy maintained stability in overcoming difficulties, and the main development tasks of the year were basically completed in a complex environment with many changes. The Chinese economy has shown strong resilience.
The top Chinese official said that Beijing aims to add around 12 million new urban jobs this year and bring the urban unemployment rate to around 5.5%. China posted just 3% growth last year. Beijing also missed its stated target of around 5.5% by a wide margin. Now, as the economy strained under the impact of strict COVID-19 containment policies and a property crisis. Speaking on Taiwan, the premier said that the government should promote peaceful development of relations with Taiwan and advance the process of China's peaceful reunification, but added that Beijing should be taking resolute steps to oppose Taiwanese independence. China has also increased its defense spending to 7.2% for this year, a 0.1% increase from 2022, as the outgoing premier warned of growing external threats to Beijing's rise. China will be spending 1.55 trillion yuan, equivalent to $225 billion on defense this year. The premier said that the Chinese armed forces should intensify military training and preparedness across the board. They should devote greater energy to training under combat conditions and strengthen military work in all directions and domains. Meanwhile, on the pandemic front, Li hailed China's victory over COVID-19. For more on this, we are joined by Einar Tangen from Beijing. Welcome to WION, sir.
Thank you.
Einar Tangen is a political and economic commentator. Sir, the peaceful reunification of China in respect to Taiwan. Now, is this a clear message to the US on what to expect going forward?
Yes, I think it's very clear. Your report stressed first that they're looking for a peaceful relationship with Taiwan, but they will not allow any kind of independence movement in there. I'm sure India sympathizes because you have many different groups who, in essence, are demanding that they be set free or be independent.
So on the pandemic front, China hailed its victory over COVID-19, but there was no mention of the months-long zero-COVID policy or the nationwide anger against it. Why was it so? Is China sort of accepting that it went wrong?
No, not at all. I mean, that's part of the victory. I mean, in the end, 6 months from now, when people start looking at the apples to apples in terms of excess deaths, which is the only real way to figure out how a country did during COVID, China is fairly confident that it'll come out one of the best in the world because it was willing to sacrifice some economics in order to help people's to maintain lives.
So there was a certain amount of sacrifice of economics. We note you there. A meager 5% growth rate is being targeted in China, while a major budget is allocated for defense spending. It's increased from the last time. Do you feel China's conflicts are affecting its own growth now?
Well, no, absolutely. I think the U.S. Constant U.S. pressure, withdrawing its ability to purchase chips and chip-making machinery, which are absolutely necessary to kind of goods that China produces, is obviously having effect. There's, also a lot of things. They're not. The U.S. is preventing Chinese companies from investing in U.S. companies, and U.S. companies investing in China. This is this kind of separation, especially in areas of high tech. So, at this juncture, yeah, of course, they're feeling it. Obviously, the Ukraine war conflict is creating a lot of waves globally, and that affects demand. And that really is why the growth rate was set so low. They anticipate that there are things beyond their control, as well as they have to do a lot of work internally. The small, medium business entities were the ones that suffered most during the pandemic. And, those are the ones that create 90% of new jobs, 80% of existing jobs. So they're doing a lot to make sure that these companies have an even chance, you can basically deduct any monies you put into research and development. They've cut taxes, and they've tried to do everything they can be accommodative to these kinds of concerns so that they can grow back, jobs being the key to how China sees its economy growing, because without a job, without disposable income, you're not going to spend. If you don't spend, then that whole idea of resting your economy on internal consumption doesn't work.
So a lower growth rate, but more jobs, and a peaceful reunification of Taiwan, which is a clear message to the US as well. Thank you for all those inputs, sir. We'll be in touch with more.
Thank you.